And all right. Hello. I hear you. Oh, all right. Thanks for coming. Welcome to Screen Test Student Fest. It's our international high school competition, and I say international is because we're going to be talking to people from all over the world. If you looked at the programs, you'll see all the people from different states, different countries, different continents that we'll be speaking with throughout the evening. First of all, let me want to say hello to some people. First off, we want to acknowledge our sponsors for supporting us through this weekend. Our first one is our title sponsor, and it is Three Monkeys and Aardvark Studios. Where's Ben? Ben Olson. There he is, right front and center. He's got the choice seat. In 20 words or less, Ben, what does Three Monkeys and Aardvark do? In three words or less. Great, thank you. You can look them up, 3mastudios.com. All right, and then we have a special guest here who's going to just say a couple things that we're embarking on a new project, Ben and some other, well, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But we do have a special guest coming on later on. And also, we have Valerie Biondi with Tribeca Flashpoint College. Valerie, you there? Did we lose her? Is she out just around the corner outside the door? She's a little camera shy, isn't she? Is she coming? Hardest working woman in show business. Hey, was Valerie there? Hey, Valerie, how you doing? That's our Valerie with Tribeca Flashpoint College, our director sponsor. Hi, Valerie. Just from there, you can quickly say, tell us a little bit about Tribeca. All right, thank you, Valerie. One thing I forgot to mention is that if anyone looks at the next couple years, you'll be seeing the Illinois bicentennial logo. It's going to be splashed everywhere around the state. And when you see the logo, you'll know now that it was designed by Ben, who's right there. So congratulations. That is a very cool thing. That's a cool thing. It's a very cool thing. So, okay, we're going to get started. I do want to remind you that we are giving away an audience award tonight. It's worth $100, and you are going to vote for the winners. So after we watch all the films, you'll be able to. You have the ballots that are already in the program. We do have extra pencils. Our ushers will come down to see if you need a pencil. We'll collect those and we'll count them up right before we start giving the awards. Okay, so watch carefully and then vote for your favorite film. We're also going to have a door prize. So we're going to give away this Fuji Instax Mini 90 Neo Classic camera. It was outside taking those little mini Polaroid photos. So hold on to your raffle tickets or staple to your program. I'm going to give this away later on. Okay, let's get started with the films. Our first one is by a filmmaker who is a local filmmaker. He is from Palatine. His name is Russell Wagner. Russell's going to come up after we show the film to talk a little bit about his project. It's called Pixels, and you'll know exactly why. So please enjoy our first film of the evening, Pixels.
Mikey, is that you? That's right, ghost dog.
Eat the power pellet. Now Pac-Man's got 10 seconds where he can eat the ghosts. And that includes me.
All right, Russell, come on up. Pixels. Oh, someone enjoyed it real well. Okay. Here we go. Hey, Russell, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Okay. Who's your co-star in that?
My brother, Mikey.
Is your mic working? Okay, talk. Yeah, nice and loud and clear.
My brother, Mikey.
Was he in Thor last year?
He was.
That was him.
Yeah.
He was a lot smaller last year.
No, different brother.
Oh, different brother.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's about medium size. All right. So, so you're from Palatine, right?
I am.
And this film has palm trees in it.
Yeah, it was on spring break.
Oh, okay.
It was in Florida.
So it was shot in Florida.
Yeah, shot in Florida.
Wow. Okay. How long did it? Okay. How long were you there, and how long did it take you to shoot it?
We were there for a week. We probably shot over the course of 4 days, maybe.
And did you go with a plan to shoot a movie while you were there?
Yeah.
And did you get permission to use that garage?
Not really. I mean, it was like our hotel was the parking lot was pretty empty, not very busy.
Yeah.
So we thought it'd be a
So
pretty good
so
shot.
did you have it plotted out before you went?
Yeah, I wrote a little.
You're like, God, I hope they have a
yeah.
parking lot there we could use. And,
Yeah.
okay. And so you shot over 4 days, and you got all the shots you want. Thank you for, you did take off your shirt before going in the water. You didn't want to get the shirt wet. What was the idea behind this? What inspired you to make this story?
Well, there's a movie called Pixels that was an Adam Sandler movie, and it was about just like fighting alien video games, and just kind of got it from that.
Okay.
Fighting video games, it sounds pretty cool.
How did you do your effects?
Pac-Man, I did in Blender. It was pretty simple because all you got to do is make him open his mouth, close his mouth, and then loop
Right.
it.
And did you have trouble matching your live action shots with the special effects?
A little bit. I kind of had an idea of what I would need, so I shot accordingly.
Okay. And when you jumped out off that ledge, how far down did you go?
Okay, so when I was looking down, when you saw my feet, it was
Right.
photoshopped because I basically just took a picture off my balcony, and then I chopped it, and then I put on like a handheld camera effect to make it
Got
look
it.
like it was
Nicely done.
camera. And then when I was actually jumping, it was literally just like a 2-foot drop. And then when you saw me in the air getting eaten, that was all green screen.
That was all green screen. Okay, so this is vacation for you.
Yeah.
All right, let's go out to our audience and see if we have any questions. Can you bring up the house lights a little bit, please?
Yeah, it's hard to see.
Here they come. Any questions for Russell? None? Yeah, Craig.
Yelling at my brother. Yeah. It took him a while just to learn which button was record. So, yeah. Yeah, it probably took, I'm trying to think, because I shot this back in April last year, but I think definitely the jumping off the balcony was probably the most difficult to shoot. I think I had to do that a couple times. So, yeah.
Any other questions for Russell? Yes.
Canon EOS 6D.
And it's an SLR, isn't it? Digital SLR?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's a nice camera. It takes nice shots.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Russell? All right. Well, Russell, congratulations. You did a great job. I've left my slate. I'll get you one later on, okay? So congratulations. Nice job. And thank you for kicking off our festival. All right. We are underway. We're going to move on to our next film. This is an epic of sorts, and it's really exciting. You're going to love it. We're going to talk a little bit more about it after we see it. It's called Letters to Lucy, from a student from Kirkland, Washington, Lana Ngayan. We'll see if I can pronounce that right, but we'll check with that. We'll talk to her after we show it. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's our second film of the evening, Letters to Lucy.
The doctor was right. I had been seeing things. He's been haunting me for a while, my monster. I saw him everywhere. I felt him everywhere. I couldn't get rid of him. I didn't know what to do.
Get off of me. I can't. I need to get off of me. No. How do I get it off of me? How do I get it off of me? How do I get it off of me? Get off of me. Get off of me.
If the problem is you keep imagining this monster, then maybe you should stop trying to make things up. Imagination is not good for a young child.
You should read more nonfiction.
How about those history documentaries your father loves?
Lucy?
Lucy!
What? Yeah. But despite their advice, I still felt the same. If anything, worse. But then one day, a letter arrived.
Mom! Mom!
And when I looked back, my monster was gone. Every now and then, the letters came. Getting them was the most exciting part of my week. They were about magic and different worlds with special people. They made me feel happy. They made me believe in something. The letters kept coming, and my monsters started to leave me alone. I like to imagine Delilah working in her fantastic writer's workshop. A brewing stew simmering with wonder and magic. It was wonderful. But it didn't stay like that forever. The stories were changing. He wasn't with me anymore, so it made sense. He must have gone over to Delilah. I could see him through her writing, haunting her, making her words black. The stories changed from beauty to pain, from elegant loops to messy scribbles. And then the letters stopped coming. And I knew what I had to do. I had to find her. I used her stories as my map. And I took pictures along the way, my own story. I guess I thought that since she saved me with her stories, I could save her with mine. But she wasn't anywhere to be found. Not there. Not here.
If the problem is you keep imagining this monster, then maybe you should stop trying to make things up. Imagination is not good for a young child. Maybe you should stop trying to make things up.
I had been seeing things. He's been haunting me for a while, my monster. No. Can't be. Delilah.
Maybe you should stop trying to make things up. Imagination is not good for a young child.
Was there any way to fix me? To get rid of this monster I've created? It's that feeling of deja vu. You've seen this place, done these actions, felt this feeling in a dream. That's what this is like. My imagination isn't just a door open to bad things or bad feelings. It's open to good things too. Delilah might not have been real, but I was going to keep her alive. She taught me that I'm the one who can make life worth it. Her ideas were real, my adventures were real.
There is a dark
I am not afraid of my mind.
no, not on my way. There is a dark place, but I'm not going there. No, not on my way. There is a dark place, but I'm not going there. No, not on my way. There is a dark place, but I'm not going there. No, not on my way. There is a dark place, but I'm not going there. No, not on my way. There is a dark place, but I'm not going there. No, not on my way. There is a dark place, but I'm not going there. No, not on my way.
All right. Lana Wynn. Lana, are you there?
Yes, hi.
Hey, how are you? You made it home.
Yes, I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, thank you. It's great to talk to you. This is a very, very ambitious film.
Yes.
Of all the films we've screened here at the Prairie Center, I believe this one has more locations than any other film. There's so much going on. It's such a beautiful voyage. So
Thank you.
let's start with the concept. How did you come up with this?
Honestly, the idea kind of popped in my head maybe like 2 years ago, and it was just a very simple idea of this girl getting letters from this mysterious writer. But as you were saying, the project was very ambitious, so kind of over the months, I kind of tried to scale it down.
Okay.
And the final product is based a lot on my personal experiences, I'd say.
Did the story evolve as you were putting it together?
Yeah, I think like in the end, it's completely different than the original idea I had, which is kind of funny.
Right. And who are your performers? First of all, who is the little girl? She's wonderful.
That's my cousin Sammy. She's 11 years old.
And for how long did you put her to work?
It was like 2 months.
And what did you pay her?
I mean, we bonded a lot, so there was that.
You know, that's worth more than
yes.
any money. That's worth more than any money. So,
Yeah, I think so.
and I mean, there's so much happening. You have the kind of the forest type creatures and all that. I mean, what do you have control? Did you take care of the makeup, the costumes? Who did you oversee all of that?
Yeah, so I had people help out with makeup, but for the most part, I made all the costumes and I made like the animal masks and all the props myself. I think mostly because I was just worried that things would go wrong and I really wanted to make it right, like exactly how I envisioned.
Did you have a budget? Did you spend any money on this?
It was probably like 300-ish, so I kind of saved up a lot of money and
wow, okay. and
basically everything towards this.
Sure. Have you shown the film anywhere else?
I'm like submitting to a couple of film festivals and like locally I showed it at my school's art walk, so
okay.
Not
so
too much.
This is your first festival. Is this the first big one? So
yes.
we call
yes.
this a big festival, and we are. We're showing movies from all over the world. So, well, congratulations! It's a marvelous film. I want to check with the audience to see if they have any questions. So let's bring up the house. I'll repeat them for you, okay, Lana?
Okay.
Are there any questions for Lana? Yes, back there. The amusement park. Where was that?
Oh, that was Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. So it was down in California.
In California, okay. So did
Yes.
you shoot in California and Washington? Did you go all over the place for this?
Yeah, so my cousin lives in California,
Okay.
so the kind of story type stuff with creatures, that was in Washington with like my friends. And I usually go to California for the summer, so that's where I did all of her stuff.
How did you put the soundtrack together?
Soundtrack, I looking through like free music archives, and I had this one musician that I really liked, Tom Rosenthal, so I actually just emailed him and asked him if I could use the music and just kind of put it together.
It's beautiful. It works throughout, and
Thank
I'm
you.
glad. Thank you for getting in touch with him because we do require that you get permission or copyright. Anyone else with a question for Lana? Yes. Let's go to the lady right there in the green. Is there any symbolism behind the different creatures?
I wouldn't say that there's a lot of symbolism behind the different creatures, but there's definitely a lot of symbolism in the first scene where she cuts off her hair, and just the concept of the monster being representative of like problems that she can't like deal with in real life, so she visualizes it into that monster. But for the stories, I kind of was just thinking more aesthetically what would be nice to look at.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
There's another question. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The narration itself, the timing of the narration is spot on, is what the question started with, and asking is how did you tie your images and your scenes together to go along with that narration? Am I pretty much on? Yeah. How did you work out the visual to time out with the narration?
Well, I very meticulously planned everything. So I wrote this screenplay, and I basically put the lines in where I wanted them to be. But when I was making the film, I very strictly followed that planning. And as far as like recording itself, we just kind of sat in a room for maybe like an hour, 2 hours, just going over each line and kind of changing the voice inflection and like timing, so I had options to choose from when I edited.
How long was your editing period?
I'd say 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
It kind of went into school, so I wasn't working on it like all the time.
Right, okay.
But yeah.
I think one more. Let's go right there. This gentleman over here. Did you leave anything on the cutting room floor?
Yeah, actually, I had an intro scene and an outro scene of the girl when she was older, and she like looks back at this experience, but I ended up taking it out.
Could that older person be you?
It was actually my aunt, but it could have
okay.
been me since,
Right.
yeah, a lot of it was about like how I saw my like
Sure.
childhood and stuff.
Yeah, it seemed very personal. There was one more in back. Did you have one? You sure? Okay. All right, Lana, thank you so much. It's a wonderful film. I wish you much success with it, and keep on shooting.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, thanks, Lana.
Thank you.
Lana Wynn, Letters to Lucy. Wonderful job. What a wonderful job. Let's move on to our next film. And before I do that, I'm going to introduce our guest host for the night. She has been with the Chicago International Children's Film Festival for a number of years. She runs it, she coordinates it, she does everything. It's a wonderful festival. I had a chance to catch it last year. And again, it is of an international scope, so it's run out of Facets Multimedia in Chicago. And she's back, and she's a good friend of mine, and she's back here. She's been hosting every year. We love having her. So Kathleen, let's bring out Kate Beckman. Kate, how are you?
Hi, I'm back. Good to be back. Hello, everyone. Well, I'm Kate Beckman. As Rob said, I love doing this. I'm so honored to be asked to be a part of this festival and to see these amazing films. They just get better and better every year. I mean, completely blow me away. Just to plug our event, the Chicago International Children's Film Fest, it'll be our 34th annual this year. We're based out of Facets Multimedia in Chicago, and we're actually the largest festival of movies for children and youth in the entire world. Every year we show nearly 300 films. Last year was 289, I believe. And we do have categories for child and youth produced. So youth filmmakers out there, please submit your film. It's free if you're 17 or under, and you can go to facets.org to register. We're accepting entries now through the end of May, I believe, so check us out, please. These films are incredible, so we'd love to have a place at our fest, too. I'm here to introduce our next film, which is From Dogs to Wolves by Azure Allen. We'll ask Azure to speak with us at the end. Right now, please enjoy.
I've lived in this neighborhood my whole life. My kids grew up in that house. The taxes just keep going up, and I can't afford it anymore.
It's just not fair, you know? I went to college, I did everything I was supposed to do. Now all I do is sit in the same chair every day, making the same wage I did when I started the job 3 years ago.
He's just missing. He was at one of the most prestigious schools in the country.
Oh, what school?
Stanford.
Oh, I go there.
Oh, for what?
Comparative Lit and creative writing.
Ah, so you're a writer.
Trying to be, at least.
Why'd you do that?
I don't know, I just wanted to be nice.
People are just nice because it makes them feel better.
And you don't do that?
I try not to feel anything. What were you writing?
Just stuff about my day. Inspiration. I write stories.
I could tell you a story.
Yeah?
Give me your book, quick.
Welcome. Okay, here are your hibiscus teas.
This is no good.
Really? Who makes it better?
I could show you. It's interesting how kids create their own realities. When they don't understand something, they just make stuff up to explain it.
Honestly, it's kind of scary. Their perception's so naive it could put them in danger.
Danger or not, it leaves time for them to dream. They get to make happy memories before they have to grow up and see things as they are. It's like a shield.
So, you were gonna tell me a story?
Oh yeah, the story. It begins with a boy still in dream time.
Mom, look at all the pretty flowers.
Hey, you okay?
The little boy lived in that house.
Can you pick me about 5 red hibiscus from the garden? Sweetie, that's a trumpet creeper. It's poisonous. If you made tea from this, you would get sick.
Why does it grow in the garden?
Well, I just like having it around because it's pretty.
Even if it's dangerous?
It only has the potential to be dangerous.
It's a lovely house.
Yeah.
Do you live here?
No. So, do you want to try some good hibiscus tea? That little boy was so happy. Everything was magical to him.
What is this?
This is where the tea is. This is where I live.
What happened after that?
Well, he grew up, and his shield shattered.
Stay here. I have to go back to his house to get his address.
Dad! Dad, where are you?
His face is going to be scarred for the rest of his life. What is wrong with you?
It was an accident and you know it.
I just wanted you to take him to the doctor and come home. Why would you take him to your friend's house when he was sick? What is wrong with you?
You always have to have someone to blame.
You are to blame.
Thank you. What happened after that?
He built himself a new shield.
What's up, man? We're all at the beach. You said you were coming.
Yeah. Not today, man. I can't.
All right.
Sorry.
What is wrong with you? I know you're smarter than this. You're gonna lose your scholarship.
I don't know.
You just aren't trying. I can't pay for your college if you lose it. It costs enough even with a scholarship.
I'm sorry.
Hey, are you leaving?
He just quit and threw it away?
The new shield was just too heavy. Too much to live up to.
You don't have to live out here. Your parents would want to see you. You can't keep running forever.
You're right. This story needs to end.
Azure, hi.
Hi.
Nice to see you. You're coming to us from South Carolina, correct?
Yes.
Yep. Welcome to Schaumburg, Illinois. So tell us a little bit about this film. Incredibly ambitious, this movie. 9-minute animation. For those of you at home that don't know, Chuck Jones's grandson knows how much effort and time it takes to do this. How long did this movie take you?
Well, I started writing when I was about March, I guess, but I probably started animating about last summer, and I just put finishing touches and stuff on it when about February. So I've been working on this film a very long time.
How much time did you devote to it, weekly, to get it done?
I mean, the way that I am, I work on things a lot. If I'm working on school, I'm going to be working on it mainly, the main thing that I'm doing. And that's the same way I am with film. So, I mean, I would spend every day probably at least 4 or 5 hours working on it.
Wow. And your art style, your animation, your backgrounds, your color palette, where do you find inspiration?
I was actually going and traveling around California because I was in a couple of film festivals there. And I went to San Francisco, and I had already had the concept for the film. But when I went there, I was just this seems exactly like where this story would take place. This is the home of this story. And I was very inspired by the color palette and just the overall feel and the people of that area, that I thought that it would be a really good setting for it.
Yeah, it's a wonderful piece that really, I think, celebrates kind of the bohemian artist lifestyle and just the ideals of that too. Looks like from that reaction, that's what you were going for. So excellent.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm sorry.
no, please.
Growing up, like I was raised around like hippies and stuff too. So like the scenes with the tents and stuff, like those are direct memories for me too. So it was really neat to bring back something that, you know, was a big part of my childhood into this film as well.
Yeah, you really bring that to life. And the music too just leads us, you know, even though the story's kind of sad, it creates a very kind of calm and reassuring tone to it too. What I wanted to ask is how much of this is kind of tapped into your own kind of ideas and your own fears looking in your future or in your past for that matter?
That's a rough question, but I mean, I feel like a lot of us have that darkness inside of us, but I feel like when you have love and support of, you know, people around you, and when you speak up about these types of things, then that's one thing that can really save you. And I feel like a part of what happened is nobody really realized how he was feeling, and that's why he fell apart. And I also wanted to tell people who were feeling that way that they weren't alone in their feelings. And, you know.
Well, I think your film has the potential to really touch and reach people that are kind of in a similar place. So that's very brave of you to put that out. And that's what art's all about. So you're doing everything right. Let's open it up for questions. Does anyone have questions for Azure? Let's see. Questions for Azure? Yes. Did you storyboard your film before you started animating?
I really should have. That would have helped me a lot, but I mainly just thumbnailed. Like, I didn't really do like big in-depth storyboard animatics like I really should have done and I wanted to do. But I actually wanted to get this film done by November, and it got done by February. So I didn't really have time. But I did thumbnail out everything and like set up my shots. But like a drawing of the character wouldn't actually look like the character. It would be more like a blob with the sort of same aesthetic to the hair.
What animation program did you use, or effects program?
I used a couple of programs for this. Like, I mainly used Anime Studio Pro 11. But for a couple of things, I used Toon Boom Studio, and a couple of things I used Toon Boom Harmony. And for the editing, I used Premiere, and for the audio, I used Audition. Okay. And all of the backgrounds were painted in Photoshop.
Okay. Yeah, your backgrounds are gorgeous. Really, really beautiful. Any other questions? Yes. What inspired you to do the film?
What inspired me? Well, actually, it's kind of an odd story. So I was away in like Alabama, and I decided with my mom that I was going to watch Waking Life for the first time. And since that film was about dreams, I was like, what are some weird dreams that I've had? And I remember seeing a man saying that he had absolutely no feelings. And I was asking, what would that be like? And he wouldn't tell me. And I was like, and then I thought about the dream, and I thought it was really peculiar. And I was like, what does having no feelings mean? What is the true meaning to that? And I wanted to go and explore that with this film, and it just completely evolved to this.
That's great. That's great. Well, a really terrific project. Thank you for joining us. Let's give Azure another round of applause. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to our next film. This film comes to us from Boca Raton, Florida. It's directed by Emily DeJaco. We'll get the correct pronunciation on that soon. And it's called What No One Sees.
class, settle down, settle down. Today we're studying how the American Revolution changed the lives of the American people, how this led to the Tea Party and the stamp taxes and all that good stuff, how it led to the
Hey, what happened to you?
Nothing. I just fell in the shower this morning.
You sure you don't need ice or something? It looks pretty bad.
No, man. I'm fine. It's just a small bruise.
All right.
How was school?
Fine. We learned about the American Revolution today.
Did you have a meeting after school today?
No. Meetings are on Mondays.
So then where were you?
I just went through the park.
You came home late.
I may have stopped for a few minutes.
You are so inconsiderate.
It was only a few minutes.
You would rather be at a park alone than be with me?
No.
Then why did you go to the park?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't. Stop, please!
Why?
Please! Help! Someone, please!
Open the door, FDPD. Get on the floor.
Hands on your head.
You have the right to remain silent. Everything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford an attorney,
Come
we will
here.
provide one for you.
It's okay now. We're gonna get you help.
All right, let's give it up for Emily and her movie. Pretty serious. Now, I've got to share with everyone that you are at your prom right now. Is this correct? Yeah, yes, she's at her prom. She's at her prom. So we're going to keep this brief. We're thrilled that you can join us. Tell your date hello from everyone here.
Not with anyone.
Let's start out by talking about, I mean, in our program, it talks about here how you're a sound designer, sound mixer, Foley artist. Where did you,
Yeah.
and this story is told with sound, and by the way, your cinematography is phenomenal. It's just terrific.
Thanks.
What was the process like to tell this story? And it's such a serious story. What was your inspiration for it?
My inspiration for it was, most of the time, like, in films, people focus more on cinematography than sound, especially in high school films. And I wanted a story that I could tell only through sound. And like it would make such a more impactful through sound. And the first topic I could think of that like really was strong enough to give my point across was child abuse. And it was just like right there, I'm like, oh, I was coming up with multiple ideas. At first I was gonna do like a black screen, and then I'm like decided to do other things, and then I ended up just with that.
Yeah, the imagery goes along with the story so well.
Yeah.
I really love how you blended that. Was this done for a school project, or did you do this to kind of get the message out about child abuse?
I went to a camp in which I was interning at, and I just made this in my spare time because I had a couple days in which I was doing nothing. So I decided to grab one of my friends that was also interning, and I'm like, hey, can you just film this real fast for me, and I'll get actors to do it later. And that's how I made it. Yeah.
How long did it take you to put it together?
I only had 2 hours to film it. So
really?
It took 2 hours to film, and
To film
it took me
that?
about
That only took you 2 hours to shoot?
Yeah, only the visuals. The audio took me about 30 minutes, and then to edit everything took me about 2 days.
Wow, that's quick.
Yeah, I was trying to make it done fast for a film festival I was submitting to.
Yeah, you did a terrific job. I can't believe you got it done so
Thank
quickly.
you.
Let's see if we have any questions from our audience.
Okay.
Any questions? Like, who are you wearing tonight at the prom? No, just kidding.
Macy.
You look beautiful.
Thank
In the
you.
back. What for what? What kind of equipment did you use for the visuals, right? For the shots. Okay. What kind of equipment did you use? The camera? Did you use some sort of steady device?
I used what's the name of it? Not a steady a slider. I used a slider.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the name of the slider is. And I used a Pansonic camera.
Okay, great. And what did you record on? I mean, as you know, as an audio girl, you know that it's really hard to get good audio. So any advice for people about good microphones or anything?
I use the Zoom H6. Oh, it's getting really loud. I use the Zoom H6. I love that audio recording device. It is the best device ever. That's by far my favorite. I bought it, and it was the best investment I've ever made.
That's great. Any other questions? Yes. What school are you at for your prom? You're in Florida, right?
Yeah, I'm at Dreyfus School of the Arts.
Okay, there we go. Dreyfus School of the Arts. So are you studying filmmaking?
Yes, I'm studying communications and digital media.
Okay, cool. That's great. Do you have a chance to really keep working on your audio skills while you're there?
We don't have a sound department that's really that great. I'm mainly the only person at my school that does sound, so I work on a lot of films. But there's some equipment. It's a public school, so it's not much budgeting.
Yeah.
So it's the best that I can do.
Is sound and sound design something you want to get into? Which is kind of
say again?
unique.
Sorry?
Is sound and sound design something you want to get into?
Yes, I want to be a sound engineer or sound mixer when I'm older.
That's awesome. You're so confident in your future. One more question.
Thanks.
Okay, we've got an audio guy here in the audience, and he says, stay with audio. It's a great thing to do.
Oh my God, thank you. I love sound. It's my favorite.
Well, Emily, have a wonderful time tonight.
Thank you
for
guys
joining
have
us.
a fun time too. All right,
let's give her a round of applause. Bye, Emily. Thank you. All right, I believe Rob is going to join us again, and I'll be back a little later.
All right. Thank you, Kate. Thank you. We'll see her in a bit. She'll come out to do a couple more films. A quick story. Emily, she emailed me a couple days ago, says, I got a problem. It's my prom night. Can I still do this? And I said, you tell me. And I reminded her, or I told her the story that about 4 or 5 years ago, we had another female young lady filmmaker who, it was also her prom night. She was local. I think it was around Naperville or something like that. She chose to come to the festival instead of the prom, and she brought her date here and made this her prom. It paid off because she won first place, so it was a great thing. And I also want to mention, if you've noticed, 1, 2, 3, the last 3 of the 4 films we showed were directed by women. So that is great. We love to see that trend. We want to see that continuing. We want to see more female filmmakers. We want to level that ground, so keep it up. Very well done. Let's continue with our festival. Our next film comes from all the way from the UK. A lot of drama, a lot of intrigue, a lot of mystery. Beautifully shot. It is by Joseph Walker. So let's take a look at Mark. All right, Mark by Joseph Walker. Let's talk all the way to England. Joseph, are you there?
Hello.
Hello. You're nicely dressed. Hold on. I'm going to tuck my shirt in, okay, because you look too sharp. Yeah, thank you for dressing up for us.
Well, yeah, it's a film festival. I thought I should.
So you don't wear this every day?
No.
All right, good. So you're from Salisbury, which is where in relation to London is that?
About 100 miles east. 100 miles west.
100 miles west. Okay, so we have an idea now. Wow, what a beautifully shot film.
Thank you.
Yeah, so many questions. Let's talk a little bit about the concept. What were you going for with the story here?
I was going for, the concept was this whole idea that I love films that make me not know what's going on.
Right.
and have me on the edge of my seat trying to guess what's happening. So the idea with this was to make a short film that would give the audience that intrigue, that mystery,
Right.
and see if they could solve what was going on.
Well, and what I like is that we're not sure, and maybe we don't need to know, or we shouldn't know, or decide on ourselves whether Mark is the name of the person, the symbol on the arm, or what he's holding in his hand at the end.
Yeah.
Is there an answer? Is there a correct answer?
No right answer. Whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, go ahead.
The working title for it was called Spot for a long time, and then one of the people on when we were shooting came up with the idea it could be called Mark instead, and then it's even more ambiguous. So
Absolutely.
we thought more ambiguity is better. So yeah,
Well chosen. Who's your actor in the film?
The main actor is a guy called Martin Challoner. We were very lucky to get him on board. For the
And
project.
how did you acquire him?
We used a website called Star Now, which is like a casting website.
Oh, really?
Which is free to post listings for short films and stuff. And we got a lot of people, people who want to try, to do acting, and he was one of them.
So let me ask: does he charge a fee to do that?
We paid him to travel to us because he lived in London, so we paid him to travel to us and back. But he agreed. He wanted to do the project, so he agreed that was fair.
You must be pretty happy with his performance. He has a really intense,
Very, very happy.
sometimes desperate
Very
look to him.
happy. Yeah.
How long did you shoot? Did you take to shoot?
It shot over 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not much time.
So,
now, how did he hit the ground when he's falling backwards? Because you don't show it, but he does hit the ground.
yeah. Well, he doesn't hit the ground. We did that was quite a complicated effect shot. We had a mattress covered in a green screen. And then he fell onto the mattress, and then that's why you don't see him hit the ground, because we cut away and then, yeah.
Aren't you
That's
clever? Very clever. Very well done. And what your color scheme is also really nice. Was that kind of a conscious effort in post-production?
Yeah, definitely. We wanted it to have a very punchy, filmic look to it, and we played around with some things, and in the end we just settled on that because we thought it looked nice.
By the way, you've got an incredible interview voice, and I think you've got the audience mesmerized right now. They're
Thank
loving
you.
it. So well done on that. Let me go to them and see if they have any questions. I'm sure they do. So hold on, Joseph. Do we have any questions for Joseph? I'm going to take the lights up a little bit so I can see. Anyone? Yeah, in the back there. Oh, thank you. Yeah, what time is it over there?
It is 2:45 in the morning.
Because we saw, someone noticed the clock behind you, and did you stay awake or did you take a nap before doing this?
Took a nap. Yeah.
I'm glad you woke up. Anyone else had a question? I thought I saw another hand go up. Anyone? Oh yes, back there. Is Films on Foot going to be your own franchise of short films?
Maybe. I don't know. We thought we thought we would give it a production name because a lot of us worked on it, and then if we worked on stuff in the future, we could keep using that. So hopefully, yeah.
How many films have you made prior to this?
Proper film, proper kind of projects. I'd say like 3 or 4 big ones. But I do little short things all the time. Short little experiments and stuff. So I'm always practicing. I guess.
Would you call yourself self-taught, or did you take did you study cinema?
I took a course at my there's a local art center, and I've done a course there for a few years now. But I watch YouTube constantly for filmmaking stuff.
You have a great eye. You have beautiful work with the camera beautifully. There's another question over here. Gentleman over there. Did you record the Foley sound effects, or were they found?
Some of them were found, some of them were recorded. We recorded about 20 to 30 of them, and some of them we used free sound online.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds great. The shell, the bullet drop, I think is what we heard from the
that was ours.
That was great. Yeah, over here. Yeah. How in England? How do you find out about a film festival in Schaumburg, Illinois?
There was the Film Freeway website that you can submit films to film festivals with, and it came up as a recommended festival, and it looks good, and it seems good. So yeah,
we appreciate that. Yeah, it's we show a lot of movies here. Some going to show one from Australia pretty soon. So.
Wow.
Yeah, that's very cool. Do we have, I think, we're out of time, so we have to move on right here. Oh, you want a quick one over there, quickly? That guy should be the new James Bond.
He should be, yeah.
we say that about every English person we see. Well, listen, Joseph, it's been great to talk to you. Thanks for staying up and getting up early in the morning for us.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you. Thanks a lot, Joseph.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nice guy. And speaking of a next overseas filmmaker, we're going to go all the way to Australia, and we're going to take a look at an animated film, something unlike we've ever received before. The film is called Journey, and I'm going to need help with his name when we go back live, but let's say Radhia Jagathiva. So let's take a look at Journey, and we'll be back to talk to him. Here we go. We're going to allow the audience to pick their jaws up off the floor and get Radea on. Radea, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Radea Jagathiva. Holy cow. It's, it's almost a cliche to say it, but this is what you'd consider visual poetry.
Oh, thank you so much.
And,
it really means a lot to me.
And is this, we'd like to ask our filmmakers, what inspired this? What were you going for in this? Because I ask that because sometimes a film can start to find answers and ends up asking more questions than it can answer. So what was your journey like?
Well, I really just wanted to create a film that kind of tapped into that intrinsic kind of human nature to try and find home and try and find where we belong. Because I think that's something that a lot of us can all relate to. And I wanted to create a film that could be kind of understood and watched by anyone, regardless of age or race or anything. So there are no words in the film, and it's just all kind of visually told. And the kind of main kind of pivotal point of focus in the film is Earth, which is like something that all of us can relate to. So I just really want to kind of tap into that and just make a film that kind of could be watched and understood by anyone. But yeah.
And what we like is that we know they're there. We're not exactly sure how they got there. We know we have a sense of where they're from because they're trying to find it. But you add a little mystery behind their own backstory.
Yeah. It's very surreal. It kind of probably breaks every law of physics ever, and it's not exactly very realistic. But I just really wanted to kind of express the story in like a really creative way, and yeah, it is a very surreal film. But I guess it kind of just adds that element of like history, and yes, it kind of makes the journey a lot more engaging. So yeah.
Right. And you composed the music, the score for this?
So there was like a draft version of Journey which used commercial music, but I realized that like, if I wanted to enter this film in festivals and things like that, I'd have to find some music of my own or just make it myself. So there was a competition that I really wanted to enter this film in, except there was like a 2-month deadline. So I had to try and like create the soundtrack, and I had no idea how to make music. So just got a program, played around with it, and I had a lot of fun doing it, and I just managed to make it and put it all together. But yeah, I didn't have a keyboard, but I had to like play music on my laptop keyboard, and that took a bit of getting used to, but I got there.
Wow, it works to such great effect. How long did it take the computer to render out the final film?
A long time. Like I did different shots, but yeah, I had to do it overnight and stuff because it took hours and hours and hours.
And it's interesting. How did you select what's going to fly by? I mean, we saw an airplane. I'm so glad that Edvard Munch's The Scream survived and passed by. How did you pick these items? Did they have any significance?
I just, like for example, with The Scream, I really like the idea of like music and visuals just really being interconnected with each other. So like when The Scream came on, you heard that kind of like those kind of voices, like a kind of ghostly, like I can't like expect like a choir kind of thing, and like I just really like the idea. So I just kind of came up with these in my head and just kind of tried to link these all together. And just like the plane, I just thought that would just be it would look really nice just to have that like floating through space. So I guess just what I just thought would look.
Sure. Let's ask our audience if they have any questions. Let's turn up the lights, and anyone. They're just stunned. They can't talk. Yeah, right here. Is this about how the world will end, and is there a reference to a black hole of sorts?
Yeah, so that kind of last kind of sequence, I guess, was a black hole, and I guess it's a sad film in a way because they're all trying to find home, and then it's revealed that all the Earth destroyed, and there is no kind of home to find. So, it is about, I guess, the world ending, and yeah, there is a black hole.
Yeah. Well, it's not a happy ending, and then when he or the astronaut releases the photograph, it's very touching. It really is. Let me see. Yeah, question over here. Are they both from Earth?
Yeah, I'd say they're both from Earth. Like, that's, I guess, their home. But, like, the astronauts are very, I guess, just a mysterious thing. Like, and they realistically wouldn't be able to, like, stay around that long and live that long and, like, survive, but they just, I don't know, just characters that just help me tell the story, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Yeah. So he wants to know why the astronaut lived, but everything else went into the black hole. And I guess what happens to the astronaut at the end?
I guess he just kind of drifts off into the void. There is no home to find, so I guess, yeah, it's, I don't know what happens out like that.
Right.
That's just.
I guess that's our job,
journey.
right?
But yeah, and like it's just he can't find home. His home's lost, so he just drifts off. I guess. Yeah.
All right. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. What time is it over there?
It's 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we were able to connect with you. Thank you so much. What a brilliant performance. Great job. Thanks, Radea.
Much. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Pretty nice, huh? Let's move on. We're going to show. Oh, we have a local filmmaker here. It's Tim Hudson, a returning filmmaker, and his film is called The Digit, and we're going to talk about that in a bit. So let's first watch that. Here it is. Tim Hudson's The Digit.
Hello, I'm Will. This is my workshop where I will be computing pi for the next, well, for the foreseeable future. Figured I'd film this just so that I can prove to people that I'm not a complete shut-in. Now the most digits of pi ever computed was somewhere around 12 trillion, a little bit past that. And it is my goal that I will be able to compute more than that well, within the end of a while. Now, normally, a calculation of this size would take, well, a supercomputer. I don't have that, so, fortunately, the algorithm I have obtained has the ability to compress and erase unnecessary data. Now, with a command, I can bring up all that stuff that, you know, is brought out of compression. Now, I really don't want to do that right now, because this little thing is all I am working with. I don't think I want this thing to light on fire as it tries to recall 12 trillion different commands. Now, this This isn't the first time I actually tried this. Last summer, I built one of these things, and the heat was so bad that I ended up frying the whole thing, so thus the Marshmallow Man. I'll tell you what though, it's cold. So, despite precautions, the storm shorted the system. So, 3 months of work. I don't know what it could have been. It could have been the shoddy wiring, or the refurbished parts weren't reliable. You know, none of this was mine. I didn't create the algorithm. That was my brother's. I guess I was just trying to finish it for him.
All right, Tim, come on up. The Digit. We're going to try to get inside your head here. Here you go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Last year you were here with kind of a shoot 'em up explosion film, and which was a blast, but you, so to speak, but you've really you've developed something here, and we're trying to get to what is the fascination? What's the essence of the Digits of Pi?
Well, you mean with me or with the character?
I'll take both.
Well, I've always, it's kind of a dumb idea, but I had this crazy idea that pi, which is like the most famous irrational number, could end, could terminate, and that's what the original screenplay for this film was. It was a boy who found the last digit of pi, and eventually that idea was thrown out, and it was given more of a personal story with his brother, and that idea kind of came from my actor, Riley, who also helped me write this. But the fascination with pi is this number that is so famous that people work around the world to try to find as many digits of it as possible. And that's kind of the basis for this film.
Okay. And Riley, is he the actor in it?
He is. He's the actor and the co-writer.
Did you know he was going to be such a good actor when you used him?
I did. I've been working with Riley well, I've known him for 12 years, and I've been working on films with him for 3. In fact, last year's The Fisherman, he was the main actor in that at this festival.
He does a beautiful job, and it's very difficult for a one-person film for that one person to sustain the tension the way he does. I think he did a great job. Absolutely wonderful performance. You know, your style again is there's a lot of tension building. What were some of the challenges you found in creating that, or how difficult was it?
Honestly, it was all in the editing. Actually filming it, I wanted to get a lot of footage. Obviously, there was no handheld camera except for the point of view, kind of found footage look of the camcorder when he was filming his own workstation. So I tried to keep stable, locked down camera on a tripod, only panning and following movement to give it a solid but suspenseful kind of feel.
Sure. And can you give us some insight into what happens at the very end of the film?
Well, my idea, I feel, for the ending of the film is kind of limiting, so I don't want to tell you exactly what I envisioned for it.
No, I don't want you to do that.
But I've heard
every movie here we're guessing on the ending, but it's this is it's a cool thing, that I think filmmaking is taking on that sort of motif, and it's a cool thing, Makes us think. But go ahead, you give us what you can.
Yeah, a couple of people have given me their ideas, which I think are amazing, and I'd like to hear any ideas. And the glass, definitely him dropping it suggests his breaking away from the grief of his brother's death. He picks it up after the car crash, and then he lets go of it.
Right.
The light itself, I've heard several interesting things. The brother gives him the coordinates to the location. And so the light is his brother coming to say goodbye, and that's his release from grief.
That number somehow brought him there, it seems, the digits. Let's go to the audience, see if they have any questions. Anyone? I'll get our lights up here. Here we go. Any questions for Tim? Again, stunned silence. Here you go, yes. Any difficulty shooting in the cold? And
Yes.
It looked cold.
Yes, it was terrible. The breath you see coming out of our mouths, or his mouth, is real. This was filmed in late December between the days of Christmas and New Year's, and it was freezing, especially the outdoor scenes. Yeah.
The only real cold days of winter, I think, that we had, so good timing. I saw another hand up. Didn't I?
That was a MGB.
The car in
British
the
car.
garage.
The steering wheel is on the other side.
Any more questions? Yeah.
Wheaton North
Chris,
High
let me
School.
really repeat that if you didn't hear that. So asking, thank you for representing local filmmakers. What high school did you go to? Did you get any help from your class or teacher?
I go to Wheaton North High School, and the only help I got was audio equipment from my broadcast media teacher. So the boom mic.
So this was not a class project?
It was. I used this for
Oh,
a
you did?
project, but
Okay.
that's the only help I got.
Did you get a grade on it?
I did.
And?
I got an A.
You better have. You better have. Any more questions? Oh, we're out of time. Okay, we have to move on. So, Tim, fantastic job. Congratulations. Really, really happy to
Thank
hear. And are you a senior? Where are you going in the fall?
Taylor University.
Studying?
Digital cinematography.
There you go. All right, you said it. Congratulations. Tim Hudson, everyone. Wonderful job. And I'm going to bring Kate back out. She's going to talk about the next two films. Oh, Kathleen.
Hello.
And where's our...
Oh, my little apple box is missing. That's okay. I'll go on my tippy toes. Let's take a look at our next film. This film comes to us from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And it's called Madoka. Madoka. And this is by a young filmmaker named Callahan Bracken. Let's take a look.
My name is Madoka Murata. I'm a piano teacher, and in the beginning when I started, it was to show children literature, music, and visual arts. It was to make the arts help create a human being, to enhance it. Through my research and through my experience, I've been blessed with a lot of musically or cognitive-wise, academically, very gifted students, and they have given me so much joy. I do have students who have borderline Asperger's, children with learning disabilities, dyslexia, who are just as wonderful to teach, and they have taught me much. There are so little known how to really get into them, how to help them. So I have a friend who is quite a brilliant, or I think she's a very gifted spiritual healer who can see through a lot of these children, and she helps me to clear the blocks away. For me to help them better, I have to learn how to see through what they're saying or what they are doing. But one time she really helped me was that when my father passed away, she called me and she said, Madoka, I see your father, and she's in a beautiful golden light and band of angels around. And I called out to him, and I tried to pronounce his name, but he was scolding me that I wasn't pronouncing it right. Could that be your dad? I said, oh my gosh, Ashley, my father just passed away. And she goes, well, his spirit's great. He's going straight up to the heaven. And that was a wonderful comfort for me, because he just passed away at that time. And that was my dad. Yeah, he'll be correcting. All these things, I think people can say, oh, that's kind of everything can be explained by scientifically. And I'm sure it's true. But being an art major and being in the music and being in the creative world, I said, why not? It doesn't hurt anyone. It's not hurting me. And it's quite enjoyable to talk to her and whatever she's seeing. It's like seeing a movie, like getting all these stories. The high perceival of believing in the positive and believing in the fact that, yes, we can help if we really wanted to, and to really to be able to communicate. She helps me to go on.
All right. So thank you for joining us, Callahan. Welcome.
Hi.
So Madoka is an animated documentary, correct?
Yeah.
about a real person, Madoka. Can you tell me a little bit more about her, how you found her, and why you decided this should be the center of your film?
Yeah, sure. So Madoka's my piano teacher. She's been teaching me piano for a few years. And she always comes to my house and she has like these amazing stories. And she's like an amazing person. And the way she talks about life and the way she talks about things is so optimistic and it's so incredible, like the way she is. So I thought I had to document.
That's wonderful, you know, and we've seen a couple of films like that tonight where someone has something so special to share with the world, and as a filmmaker, you have the opportunity to bring that to so many other people. So thank you for sharing her story with us. Now, it's animated, too. So for a lot of us, we may not realize, yes, documentaries can be animated. So you create the images, you put the art out there. What made you want to do it? Looked like hand-drawn, probably you used a computer, but drawn on the computer animation. You know, why the style? Why animation? What informed some of those choices?
Okay, well, when I first made it, I didn't really know what I was doing. I conducted the interview, and I knew I didn't want to make it a typical documentary, because if you're showing a film and you're showing it around the world, you want it to stand out in some way. So I decided I wanted to animate it, and obviously inspired by Japanese style animations, I just thought that would work well. And then everything just kind of came together.
That's great. How long did it take you to put it together?
I was kind of pressed for time because I did it as my culminating documentary last year for my film course. So I only had about a month and a half to make it. Yeah.
That's not a lot of time.
No.
Is this the type of film you make? I mean, I was reading your bio a little bit, and you make things that are a little more kind of esoteric. And, you know, do you focus on individuals? Do you stay with animation? Do you use different mediums?
To be completely honest, my work is kind of all over the place. I love shooting live action too. I love animating. I think it's important to explore different genres and different mediums just as an artist, so you know what you want to do. So I kind of try to do everything.
That's great. Well, I think it's something to be very proud of. Excellent job with your film. We're going to see if our audience has any questions. Audience, do you have any questions? Yeah. Was that Madoka's voice that we heard?
Yes, it was Madoka's voice.
Yeah. What did she feel about being interviewed for this? You know, you asked her, hey, I want you to be the subject of my next movie. Was she excited about that?
Well, as I said before, she was an amazing person. I think she was kind of flattered in a way. She was happy to do it too, because she obviously has a business and it's good for her business. So, yeah.
That's great. Well, I like too how she's very matter of fact. You know, she just kind of presents things the way they are, and that's just the way it is. And that probably, you know, makes her all the more cool, right? It seems like we get a really good sense of her personality. I really like her story about reaching out to the medium too, which was like, when I saw this film, I was really surprised by that and thought it was a really unique and interesting perspective.
Yeah, actually, when I was first making the film, that was going to be the main focus of it. But then it ended up being too long, and my film teacher was just like, there's so much more meaning in the other parts, you should just cut most of that.
Yeah, it just becomes a small little nugget within the bigger film. Any other questions? Yes. What was the symbolism about the spots on the characters' heads?
That was more inspired by Japanese culture. So I was looking through like masks and stuff, and yeah, that just kind of showed up. There was symbolism, however, in the cherry blossom and things like that, just to represent growth and protection and shelter.
That's great. What did Madoka think of the film when you showed it to her?
I think she likes it. I hope she likes it.
I hope so too. She should like it because it's an excellent work. Well, thank you for joining us, and yeah, well, thank you, audience. So. Our next film is called The Story of Her. It comes to us from Valencia, California, and it's co-directed, written and directed by Connor Williams and Skylar Bridgman. Let's take a look.
She was beautiful beyond reason. She was loving beyond measure. She was...
An ordinary girl.
No, come on.
Okay, she was a reason for living and a purpose for life.
That's better. She was a reason for living and a purpose for life. As she wrote her next masterpiece, her humble mind thought it to be nothing more than nonsense. Beauty surrounded her. She enjoyed capturing the little moments. She never took them for granted. The fast-paced world seemed to pause for her, to stand still at her command.
But none of it mattered until she met him.
No, this is her story.
You can't have a love story without a boy.
This isn't a love story. The hills and clouds puffed their chests simply to impress her.
But then she saw him,
What are you doing?
making it more interesting.
No, she does not meet a boy.
Of course she does. She needs someone to share her life with. Someone who appreciates her for being her.
No, we can appreciate her, but anything else just complicates it.
No, there's someone who loves her. Someone who loves her perfect hair. Someone who loves her soft smile. Someone too afraid to approach her but can't seem to escape her. Someone who...
Stop, that's a horrible idea. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant that... Well, that's not what happened. He would obviously try to talk to her.
As he approached, he began to panic, and he couldn't find any words. Stay still, she said, lifting her camera to capture the moment. She had a feeling that it was the first of many they would share. And then...
I think they should go on a date. And soon, it had been months, and they were in love.
But not that fake love that you see in the movies. The kind of love that's bigger than anything they've ever felt before.
The kind of love that others envy. That is so hard to find. She looked beautiful.
He looked dashing. It couldn't last, though.
What do you mean?
Something happens. Something they can't control.
No, that's not how I want this story to go.
But it happens.
No, it doesn't, Riley.
Skylar.
Their love can't end, and she can't leave.
Skylar.
He needs her.
You have to finish it.
They love each other. They have to stay together.
This is her story.
But it was my fault. She was the reason for living and the purpose for life. Their eyes met for the first time, and they each hoped the other would make the first move. As he approached, he began to panic, and he couldn't find any words. Stay still, she said, lifting her camera to capture the moment. She had a feeling it was the first of many that they would share. And soon, it had been months, and they were in love. The kind of love that others envy. That is so hard to find. And so easy to lose. She was beautiful beyond reason. She was loving beyond measure. And now she's gone.
Hi, guys.
How's it going?
I'm glad you could join us. What a powerful and heartbreaking and beautiful film that you created. It's really interesting how your main characters that we see through much of the film look so similar to the characters that they're imagining. How did you kind of cast your film and come up with that concept?
If I'm being honest, it was a lot by happenstance. It was a lot of, this is who was available and this is who we got. And so I acted out of it out of strict necessity. I do not. But it ended up working out. We liked, once we found that we did look alike, we liked how it would turn out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I mean I remember seeing this film for the first time, and then you kind of connect the pieces as you get further in the story, with the actors themselves looking similar but different. And then as your story unfolds, I mean, all of it comes together beautifully. So you did a terrific job with that. Tell us about the inspiration. Why did you want to tell a story so sad?
Well, originally, I mean, that's just something that we've kind of always done, which sounds kind of bad, but it's not true. We knew that we wanted to create a film, but we didn't really know what to do. So we spent quite a few hours going back and forth with different ideas. And I would say that we probably came up with around 5 or 6 ideas to just go off of for any film. And he FaceTimed me one night and was like, I have this idea. And so it just kind of rolled on through there. From there we wrote the script, shortlisted, and there you go. That was the film.
It sounds like you guys have been collaborating a long time. How long have you been working together?
Year and a half?
A bit over a year, yeah. So not too long, but we've done like 7 or 8 projects together, and we like doing it, so we do.
Yeah, you very talented. Like I said, I really love the cleverness of the story. Your cinematography is great, and I think with this story in particular, how it wraps up at the end is really powerful and moving. Was it inspired from anything, or was it just something that you came up with?
It's interesting because when I first called him late at night, just FaceTiming, like, I had this idea, let me pace through my entire house while I just rant and see if something happens.
Brainstorming, we call that.
Yes, sure. And so I was just walking through and I was trying to talk through something, and it's interesting because a lot of what ended up happening in the story happened out of because it needed to. We first thought, oh, we can't shoot this all in a day if we have it in some other scene that we thought we were going to originally. And so we thought, okay, if we can't do that, then we're going to have to contain it all into one spot or at least 2 spots. And so a lot of what we did was because we needed to, but I really liked how it turned out. And I think it was better than what we first thought.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting also how your story evolves because through necessity. So I think that's really good advice for young filmmakers. Sometimes that's how the creative process works with what you've got to get done. Was this done for a project, for a class?
This was done, what was this done for?
This was done for, I think, a multitude of reasons. We had, obviously we knew that let me restart. We had already done a couple of projects. We knew we wanted to submit a bigger project to festivals, a longer project. And so that was kind of where the basis started. It was also like a college application, as well as STN, which is a competition that we go to yearly.
That's great. Well, I'm really glad that you submitted to the Screen Test Fest. It's great to have this film a part of it. Let's see if we have some questions from our audience. Audience, do we have any questions for Connor and Skylar? Yes. How was the girl bleeding? That's some good makeup effects you had there.
That
so
is.
We took a knife.
Well, and I'll say too, the bike accident at the end when we see her actually getting killed. I think you did a really nice job with that. I mean, you really sold it.
That was actually a parked car, which a lot of people don't
Thank
believe.
goodness.
But you move the camera fast, and it looks like something's happening. But with the blood, you'll notice in the very first shot, like her lip is quivering, and it's all very dramatic. That was because it was cold, and she couldn't help it. And the blood was just some Party City cheap blood that we found, and I hope it was very safe for her to have because, it was a process for her, I'm sure.
Yeah. She probably didn't love laying on the side on the street.
No,
either,
I'm sure she didn't.
You got to do what you got to do when you're an actor. Any other questions? Oh, yes. Okay, why was the main character seeing the girl? Was he living in the past? You said with dread. What was his story?
So the idea that we wanted to go with, like we had talked about earlier, was that no matter what film we wanted to do, we wanted to have like an overarching shot, an overarching idea. And the idea for this was that he's reliving this past, and in order for him to move on, he needs to finish this story, the story of her. So that's the drive of the main character.
Any other questions? No? All right. Well, Skylar and Connor, thank you so much for joining us. And good luck with the rest of your careers.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to welcome Rob back up to the podium.
All right. Thank you, Kate. We're going to pull a little switcheroo on you. We're going to switch our last two films because someone is stuck in traffic for now. So he should be with us, but we're going to show a formal connection first. So let's get on with our second to last film. It is A Formal Connection by Matt Schaefer. And we'll talk to Matt after this. I think you're really going to enjoy this. So here's A Formal Connection.
I think I'll go in my bare feet and walk until they start to bleed, so you can see how far you are from me. Sorrow starts to flood my eyes. There's never room for compromise when choosing love that lives in love that dies.
I told you once, I told you twice. Now all that's left are 3x5s and empty frames and thoughts of simpler times. You can't pry it from my fingertips, and you'll never hear from my cold lips that from the start I was never convinced. Never fall, will never fall in love with you. I will never fall, will never fall in love with you.
Maybe somewhere late in time we'll have the chance to roll the die, and you pray the numbers will be on our side.
I will never fall, will never fall in love with you. I will never fall, will never fall in love.
Aw. Let's see. Matt, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Matt. We got a little fuzzy connection, but I think we can still hear you. So,
Okay, perfect.
congratulations on this film. What did you make it for?
I made it for my high school's winter formal dance. I had to make this video promoting our winter formal, and I got decided to make this film, and it aired at our pep rally in front of our whole school. And I kind of made it as just like a cool way to ask my girlfriend to winter formal. So what happened was I made this film, and it played for the whole school, and then at the very end, I walked up and I said, you know, I made this film like just for you, and then to ask her to do the dance.
Oh, listen to that. That is the promposal of the century, I think.
Thank you.
And, you know, what I love about this are the two kids. Who are they?
They're just in my film class. They're just like my producer, the boy, that's my producer's younger brother, and then the girl, that's her younger sister. Yeah.
Because what I mean, it's hard for kids that age to show some kind of affection for each other, and they do. They make it work, and it's was that something you had to coach them on, or did it come rather naturally for them?
Yeah, definitely. Directing for this one was definitely like a challenge because it was their first time doing any sort of acting. So for me, it was really just like oh, how can I direct someone who's never acted before? And I was just like trying to like put like things in simple terms for them, and it worked out in the end.
I love the moment where the boy walks up to the door, and he's about to knock it, and he freaks a little bit, and he backs off. Was that something you had in the script, or did that kind of come up on the set?
No, that was definitely scripted. Yeah, definitely.
And how many takes did that take?
Actually, it's weird. That one actually came to him natural. That one part definitely came to him natural. I feel like he shared that moment like in his own life. He must have had this moment where, you know, he must have had a crush, and he tried to like channel that like hesitation he had with maybe like a crush in real life. I'm not sure, but it definitely came to him natural. That part.
They're so convincing, and I just love the chemistry between them. And who are the two older kids then?
Yeah, so that's Luke Ludwig and Kaylee Nguyen. They're both just people that go to my high school, and they're actually dating in real life. So I was trying to figure out a way I could get like some sort of like chemistry that was real. So I decided to just find a couple that was actually like a couple in real life.
There's just mushy love all over this film.
Yeah, definitely.
What did your girlfriend? How did she react when you showed it to her?
Oh my goodness. Well, so I actually had to make this film like way far in advance of the school dance when it actually aired, because I was trying to submit it to the Orange County Film Festival. So she knew I was working on it, and I could never show her. She like was hearing from all my friends who have seen it, who worked on it. They're like, oh, they know it's good, but like I couldn't have showed it to her for a long time. So I think when finally came time for her to see it, and she saw it at the pep rally, I think she just really enjoyed it.
I bet she did. And she said yes, I hope.
Yeah, she definitely did.
Good.
It was a
that
blast.
would be horrible if she didn't do that. Did you remember? Did you come from another film fest today?
Yeah, I was just came from the Newport Beach Film Festival, actually. Yeah.
And were you in that as well?
Yeah. Actually, there was a couple. The first, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting. There was the animation about the wolves. I forget. It was playing. That was also at the Newport Beach Festival. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, the great films make it to the great festivals. So
yeah.
I think let's go open it up to the audience, see if they have any questions. Anyone? Any questions for Matt? No hands. Has the dance already happened?
Yeah, it has.
Did you wear that outfit to the dance?
This one, yeah, this suit, yes, I did wear it.
It is. Look at that. They approve. The audience approves. Is that a real bow tie?
Yes, it is a real bow tie, not a clip-on.
Not a clip-on. And you tied it yourself?
Actually, no. I had the help of my parents.
It's not easy. I tried it. I can't do it either.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Matt? Yes, over there. Where did you get the tiny camera?
I was just looking online. There's this website called Etsy where they have like, it's just very popular for like handcrafted items. It's like just a way that like like small like handcrafted mom and pop shops can sell their like just like knit like kind of like cool things for Christmas and stuff. And I was scrolling through that and I saw it, and it's kind of like a handmade thing, and I just like ordered it like online. Yeah.
Did you already have the script when you found the camera?
Yeah, I actually I like when I was coming up with the script, I was like trying to figure out something that like he could like put the SD card in, and so I was just trying to think of like, oh, what if it was like a necklace, and like it was like, oh, what about a locket? That'd be perfect. So I just googled like like camera locket, and like that was one of the first things that popped up.
All right, we have time for just one more quick question. Yeah, Ben. Did you plan any dialogue, or was this going to be music all along?
So what happened was I wrote the script, and then I showed it to like my producer and then just like my crew, and then we actually like found the song after we had written the script. So yeah, we were trying to like figure out if we wanted to go music video route or just like actually add dialogue, but yeah, we ended up going music video.
There's a nice muted tone throughout the video. That was obviously a decision of yours.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted it to be like a true music video.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. Well, Matt, congratulations. I think you did a beautiful job. You deserve to be in 2 festivals, and keep rocking that bow tie.
Thank you so
right.
much.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.
All right, we have one more film to show, but first I'm going to quickly give away a camera. Who wants a camera? All right, let's get the house lights up. This will be pretty fast. I've got this is the Instamatic camera we have had outside. It's the Instax Mini 90 Neo Classic, and I've got some film for you, 20 images there. So, and the winning number, come up to get your prize when I call your number. Playing with the tickets. Here we go. The winning number is 257848. 257848. Is there a winner? Yeah? No? Wait. Oh, we got it. 257848. All right, we've got one more film. Let's get on to our last film, and then we'll get on with the awards and get out of here. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a film by a sophomore. His name is Jack Nordstrom. The film is called Puget Sound, and I think it's a nice way to wrap up the event. So let's take a look at Puget Sound. Here we go.
Hey dude, where were you today?
Huh?
Why were you not at school?
I didn't go.
But why?
I didn't go. Do you have any fake blood?
I don't have any.
Guest squad, scene 6, take 3.
Yo, man, you got the stuff? Yeah, man, I got it right here.
What's that? Yeah, what's that?
He's right away! He's right away!
Is that good?
Yeah, it looks awesome. Put some more jelly on his face. Cut. Hey, Kevin.
Hey.
Hey, where are you guys going?
Union.
Can you give me a ride?
Is beautiful music a part of your life? At Ted Brown Music, we make it easy. We don't ask you to buy just now. Instead, we suggest that you rent the piano or the organ of your choice. And then in the privacy of your own home, you decide whether the investment is right for your family. Come in to Ted Brown Music in Tacoma since 1931 and here to stay.
Dude, I found this movie. We gotta check this out.
What is it?
It's a sweet movie about gangs in New York killing each other. It's called The Warriors.
Sweet, dude. Dude, it's awesome.
Hey, Wilson. How come I die in every scene?
I don't know.
Puget Sound. Let's check in with Jack. Jack, are you there?
Yeah, how's it going?
How's it going? We didn't think you were going to make it. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from a volleyball tournament. We just won first place. So,
Oh!
yeah, it went a lot later than I thought it would. So
well, we're glad we got you on here. So congratulations. So a couple things. I think you need to have Kevin in every one of your all of your films from here on out.
Oh yeah, every film, same character. Kevin.
Yeah, right. With that smile. Who is he?
He's my little cousin.
He's your little cousin. He's a riot.
Yeah. He's great. He's basically like a mannequin. You can tell him to do anything. Just do it in the driest way possible.
Let me yell out if you know Jack's movie influences. Who did you think of when you saw this? J.J. Abrams? Anyone else? There you go. Wes Anderson?
Yeah.
Okay, I heard J.J. Yeah, that was it. Wes Anderson. So, why the 80s?
I don't know. I just love like all the look of the 80s, like the like fashion, everything, all the technology. It just makes it looks, I don't know, it just looks cooler.
Yeah, try living the 80s and see how cool it is. We've been there. Was it hard to find all the artifacts from that era to shoot this?
He did all of the Super 8 filming. Like, he was probably the main inspiration for the movie because he did the exact same things that these kids do in the movie. So he had all this film of his old movies just
who is
lying
this?
around.
Who did?
My dad.
Oh, your dad did. Okay.
Yeah, he had all this film lying around, and we actually bought the projector on eBay. But
sure.
He had all this film lying around, and we put it on. It was like the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Cool. And whose refrigerator is that?
My grandma's.
Does she still use that fridge?
Oh yeah, that's there.
That's the real deal. I like the little touch. Yeah, go ahead.
For beer. She uses it for beer.
We want to meet your grandmother. You're a sophomore in high school?
Yes.
How'd you learn to shoot like that?
I have been making movies since I was like a little kid. My dad, like I said, he showed me all of his movies when he was a kid, and I thought that was just the coolest thing. Like, just when I would invite a friend over, I'd be like, "Hey, dude, you want to make a movie real quick?" And like we would just make like a minute-long movie, and I just think that was like the coolest thing. Usually it would be like I would use some airsoft guns or something, and I would have like in the movie, I'd have my friend shoot my other friend, and I thought, awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a really cool shot. There's an overhead shot of you cutting the film, and you do just this quick zoom in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great use of your camera. How did you? It's a simple thing, but why'd you do that?
I just thought from the background of all of that film that we laid out.
Yeah.
It zeroed in on how I felt like it zeroed in on how deep, like how precise you have to be when cutting.
Right.
I felt like it showed that, like, you need to be right on the money with your cuts.
It's just a cool little shot. That and you looking through the camera, and not taking the lens cap off, and then realizing it. It's a sweet little touch, you know. Let's go to the audience and see if we have any questions for Jack. Yeah. Where did you get a DeLorean?
My neighbor actually has a DeLorean. He's had it all my life. Ever since I've been in my house, that DeLorean's been parked out front.
That's pretty cool. It's not Kevin's. It's not Kevin's DeLorean.
Yeah.
Does Puget Sound have any significance? Have you been there? Did you shoot there? What's the deal behind that?
Yes. I shot most of the movie there, and that's probably what it's based off of too. Every year, like probably in the summer, I've gone up to Puget Sound, and I just do what all these kids do in the movie. I just like boat. We go over to that shop and like get like snacks, and then just eat like in the middle of the lake. It's probably one of my favorite places to go. it's the most beautiful place and like the most awesome place I've ever been to.
Did you really pull Kevin on that inner tube?
Yeah.
Yeah, he will he will do anything you tell him to.
Yeah, and his dog too.
Yeah. What happened?
Huh?
Oh, his dog. Oh, it's his dog too. All right. Yeah, go ahead, Aiden. Does he have? Oh, in the movie? Yeah, you show no parents in the film, no adults.
I don't know. I felt like, yeah.
Meh.
I felt like what I'm trying to say is that like you don't need you don't need like influence. You need like just kids making a movie, like only from kids.
It's really about the love of filmmaking, which I really admire about that. Yes. Okay, yeah, your dad's stuff was on a Super 8 or 8mm. What did you use to shoot?
I used a Canon 7D, and what was the other one?
No, it's an autofocus.
Yeah, another Canon autofocus thing.
Okay.
But yeah, for the edits where it looks like Super 8, we actually use a really good software plugin called Crumple Pop. They do an amazing job making it look exactly like it. So
okay, is that a real Birdland guitar behind you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. pretty nice guitar there. So, all right, Jack, we're out of time. I want to thank you so much. Congratulations. You are the last film of our festival. So, thanks for closing this out. Great job.
Thank you so much.
Congrats. All right, everyone, lights up. Let's take out your ballots. Vote for your favorites. It's time to hand out awards. We're going to count them up real fast. We're going to start giving these away. We'll get these out in no time. Get you home. Not an easy pick. So many great films to choose from. I'm going to ask Craig to come down too. Craig? I know. I know you're thinking. I didn't want to interrupt your process. You got a little time. You can't consult with Ben, though. You got to do this on your own. Oh, your ballot's in the, I think we had an extra one. Is there an extra ballot somewhere back there? Oh, wait a minute. There you go. I'm sorry. There you go. Our ushers, we have people grabbing the ballots. We're going to count them up. Is everyone still voting? We need a pencil. Come on up.
How many films?
80 some, and these are. That's why there's other festivals. I mean, it's no wonder.
It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, these kids are getting other major big events. It's so cool.
And this is the week of. This was the second week of the Newport Film Festival. So that's a great thing.
Oh yeah. There's a big one called Nifty out in Seattle.
Okay.
It's the other big youth festival. Did everyone turn in their ballot? Anyone left? Because we want to move on. Anyone left? All right. Yes? Everyone voted? All right. Vote talliers backstage. We're going to start counting. And we have a special guest and another special guest. Craig Cosson is with the Chuck Jones Center for Creativity. There you are. And he was here yesterday. He had a fantastic talk with Ben. And I just wanted to bring him up here. We want to talk a little bit about that. And might do a little show and tell. Let's see what you got. Craig Cosson, everyone. Beautiful.
Do I have to stand at the podium, or can I just...
Take the mic.
No.
Oh, let's see. Can we get the mic? Can we get the red mic on, John?
I could just scream, if that's okay. I know some of you were here yesterday, and thank you very much for coming to the presentation. Rob, I just want to allow everybody, because the guy who like heads it all never gets the thanks that he should. So everybody give Rob a huge round of applause for making this happen, because I've heard about it for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And also one more shout out to my great buddy Ben, who now is the title sponsor up there, because I know, you know, your passion comes through in supporting what is going on here. So as Rob said, my name is Craig Causin. I am the favorite grandson of Chuck Jones. And pretty much because my brother's not here, I can say that, and he's taller and bigger. But we grew up, people always ask, what was it like growing up with Chuck Jones, who created Roadrunner and Coyote and Bugs Bunny? And he was, for us, really just a grandfather. And we didn't really know any differently. I told a story last night of when he decided to test out the theory that a sea lion and a human would have to swim the same way. So he tied my brother and me up and threw us in a pool with fins on to test out a theory. So that was sort of abnormal, but at the time it seemed very normal, because that's how I grew up with my grandfather. But looking back, we started the Chuck Jones Center for Creativity nearly 20 years ago when Chuck was still alive, and I always called him Chuck because he never wanted to be grandpa. But he inspired people in all walks of life, in all industries and disciplines, whether it was filmmakers, people like Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and John Lasseter, and it goes on, people that were inspired by what he did. And we knew about those people because they became friends of his and were very vocal about how his personality, his philosophies, his teachings directly influenced them and how they made their films. John Lasseter, the founder of Pixar, sat with Chuck when he was a freshman at Cal Arts, along with a handful of others, asking Chuck questions. And John Lasseter, I saw him present about Chuck a few years ago, and I didn't know this story, that they asked him if he would come over and visit Cal Arts, and he said, you know what, I can come over there anytime. Why don't you bring some friends and come over to my studio? And this is 1974, and Chuck is still in production, making a bunch of different films in Hollywood, and he would take the time constantly to talk to these people, to talk to these young filmmakers, because he wanted them to perpetuate their art form, whether it was film, whether it was animation. And then we came to realize throughout the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, and I got to travel with him a lot out to art shows around the country, and we started talking to people who were educators, who were business people, who were physicians and scientists, who would come up and tell stories of how Chuck's books, Chuck's writings, Chuck's films inspired them in their own disciplines, in what they did. And politicians in New York would say, you know what, I still remember Roadrunner and Coyote. I am trying to emulate the Coyote every single time I am up talking to people. Didn't know exactly what that meant, but it didn't really matter. But truly, the idea was that this organization was all about inspiration. And I look at what, these nearly 100 films, and then these finalists that are here tonight, and I hope that all those filmmakers are still here. I see at least one here in the front. That regardless if film or animation is your final destination, because it's certainly Chuck's original idea of what his career was going to be, which was a fine artist, and he stumbled into filmmaking. But all of those things that he did carried through, and his career continued to evolve and change every year of his life. There was always something new and different. So what you're doing here, inspiring all these young people and all the people that are watching this, the parents, the adults, hopefully they're inspired
Yeah.
by the ideas that you guys are bringing, because I saw new things. And Chuck always said he was never about the awards, although he was probably the most decorated animation director in history. You know, he received a couple handfuls of honorary doctorates. He got the Chevalier d'Arts Award from France, which is not given to very many people. He won 4 Academy Awards. There were awards and awards and awards and awards. But he said, you know what? It's never about the awards. And he said, thank you very much. I appreciate this. But he said, then I have to put it on the shelf and think, what is next? What am I going to do next? And my mom, who's still alive, is a member of the Academy. She was an animation producer. And when she joined the Academy, my grandfather was very clear, because she was new to the voting and becoming part of the Academy and being on the committees and sitting through the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of films that you do. And he said, you do not vote for your favorite. That's not the point. The Academy of Motion Picture and Sciences is about the evolution of the science of filmmaking. He said, you vote for the film that advances the medium. And so what I saw in these 11 films tonight is that I hope, and I'm certain, that each of these filmmakers took something, maybe were inspired by something, and then took it to a new level. And I say, I mean, your film I'm a computer engineer by training, so, you know, the whole thing about numbers fascinates me. But the whole thing of the insight of it and what you did and how you shot it was beyond anything that I've seen. And I've seen a lot of films. And so I appreciate that evolution of what you're bringing. And the next one, hopefully what you'll do is to take it to the next level and evolve from there, because you can never arrive. That was one thing that Chuck always said. You can't be king of creativity. You can't be king of art. You can only better yourself and hopefully better the entire community of arts and sciences to a new level. So, although awards, he said, you know what, I don't necessarily, they're not the reason that I do what I do. It's the film, it's the product, it's the writing, it's the artwork, it's whatever. It's the thing and the process of creating it that it is all good. But I know that he was disappointed in 1950 when his films won 2 Academy Awards. He won Short Subject for Pepe Le Pew's For Sentimental Reasons, and a short animated documentary called So Much for So Little. And because he was only the director, who at Warner Brothers was the head of the animation unit, nobody else had any influence above him, because the producer was the producer and was that figurehead, the producer, Eddie Selzer, got to take both of his Oscars home. And Chuck didn't like that, because he felt that just really wasn't fair. After that, he was nominated 6 times, and he didn't win. And then in 1966, we showed the film last night, and I told a little bit about the story, that he was, for the 9th time, nominated. And at the Academy Awards in 1966 is one of my earliest memories, when I was 3, and he won the Academy Award for Dot in the Line. And he ended up winning 4, including the Lifetime Achievement Award. But the other special guest that Rob was mentioning is that my grandfather's second wife, Marion, has allowed me to travel to Schaumburg with his 1966 actual Academy Award. And so I was able to bring it here and share it, and really not just because it's fun to go through TSA with an Academy Award, which is really fun to go through TSA because you make a lot of friends. And flight attendants usually give you free drinks, which is really nice. But if you let them hold it and thank the Academy, which is good. But you know, it is a celebration, because I met Ben about 8 years ago when I came out for an art event here in Schaumburg and never been to Illinois before. And we met and hit it off. It was literally like we were two brothers with the same creative mind. And since that time, we've kept in touch and we've visited, and we, as the Chuck Jones Center for Creativity, our vision is to bring the programs and the philosophies of Chuck Jones to communities all around the country and then around the world. And we've only been stationed and based out of Southern California. And we have traveled programs around, but as of today, we have officially opened the second location of the Chuck Jones Center for Creativity in the backyard of Three Monkeys and an Aardvark right here in Schaumburg. So Ben, I appreciate that we are now spreading the programs and the philosophies of the Center for Creativity because of you. So I gotta thank Ben in a huge way. So with that in mind, Ben, have an Oscar. Yeah. So,
All right.
I hope that I have been the chrono assassin that you have been hoping for. Yeah, okay, are we good? Yeah, excellent. Good. I'll give that back to you, and you can put them away. So
all right.
I'll keep them up here for now, but I'm going to go back and sit down because you're about to give awards.
We're going to give some awards away. Thank you, Craig.
And you can come up and take a look at Oscar afterwards.
We'll put them away.
Beautiful. I'll give that back to you.
All right. Here, why don't we, here, I'm going to give it back to you. So, I am so scared to, I don't want to get it away from me. I'll put it in my car. Some people wanted to see the World Series trophy. That's what I want to see, right there. Not that there's anything wrong with the World Series trophy, but. All right, it's time for our awards. And our first one is going to be Achievement in Writing. And we're going to bring that to me right here. Thank you very much. And it's worth $100. And the award goes to Azure Allen from Dogs to Wolves. And I think, did we connect with Azure? Is she there? Maybe? She there? Coming up. She's like, what? What do you want? There she is. Nope, we got her picture.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm holding up a trophy for you.
Oh my goodness.
You took Achievement in Writing From Dogs to Wolves. It's worth $100, and this puppy is yours. So there you go.
Oh wow. Thank you so much.
And now this is time. It's time for your acceptance speech. So go ahead.
It's such an honor to be a part of this festival, and all the things that you're doing with a live Skype call and stuff. I've never done that with a festival before, and I think that's really, really cool. And it's just such a tremendous honor to be able to be in your film festival. And I'm so glad that my film was so well received by you guys. And thank you so much.
All right, and thank you. Congratulations. We'll be in touch on how to get this to you, okay? All right, congratulations. Thank you. All right. We're moving on. I've got to find room for these. I'll put them right here. All right. Our next award is Achievement in Production Values, and it is also worth $100. It's a pretty little award. And that goes to Puget Sound, Jack Nordstrom. Jack.
Hello.
Puget Sound wins Achievement in Production Values.
Wow.
I want you to say that this one's for Kevin.
Oh, yeah. That's for Kevin.
Congratulations. Great job.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, we'll get in touch on how to get this thing to you. Or you might have to come here and pick it up. We'll see. We can afford the postage. So thanks. All right.
Thanks.
Is it Audience Award? Don't have one yet? Oh, there's a plaque in back. Ask Jack, he's got it. Should I go to local hero? Oh, here it comes. We got it. Our Audience Award. Our audience award is worth $100, and you voted as your favorite film, Puget Sound, Jack Nordstrom. Jack.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
$100.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
I'm hoping you can get your finger treated with that $100.
Oh yeah.
That one. Yeah.
Volleyball.
All right, volleyball. Man, sports injury. Way to go. Congratulations, Jack. All right.
Thank you so much.
That was worth $100. And now we have our local hero award. And we pick, this is for a filmmaker within 30 miles of the Prairie Center. We had 2 finalists, 2 films, and it was a very close call. But our winner for this goes to The Digit, Tim Hudson. Congratulations to Tim. Great job. Great job. And Russell, your film was fantastic too. It was a tough choice, so congratulations to you both. All right. We've got third place is worth $100. And the winner of that, if I can get this thing out, is The Story of Her.
Yeah.
Third place, guys.
Thank you.
Connor and Skylar, you know what? One's not enough. We're going to get you a second one of these and send them both to you, okay?
Sure.
Yeah, because I could see you two fighting over this thing, and I don't want that to happen. So $100, quick acceptance speech. Go.
Just thank you guys to Screen Test and just for allowing us to do this. We really put our heart and soul into it.
We had fun. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Great job. Moving on to our second place. Look at this, man. Piling up with awards. It's like a junk pile. But nice junk, huh? All right. Our second place is worth $250. And we're coming down to the end. I'm going to see if we can connect with our filmmaker. We're trying. Our second place winner, $250, goes to Perth, Australia. The film is Journey. Radhia, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We have absolutely no way of getting this to you. Thank you. We'll hold on to it, all right? How about a quick acceptance speech from you?
I just like to thank my parents just for supporting me in everything I do, and just thank you to everyone involved in this film festival just for giving me this opportunity to participate, and just being able to show my film here is an honor within itself. Just thank you so much.
Well-deserved honor. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you. All right, and we move on to our big Best in Show prize. There we go. The big one of them all. And our Best in Show is worth $500. Yeah, right? And the winner is Puget Sound. Jack!
So cool.
I don't want to say we're getting tired of seeing you, but all right, here's your chance. Let's hear your acceptance speech.
Okay. I just want to thank my dad, like my parents, all my siblings, Will for being in the movie, Kevin, my neighbor for letting me use the DeLorean, Puget Sound, and I just want to say, if you're gonna make a movie, go out and do it. Like, do it. Just do it.
Well, listen, you're only a sophomore. I hope you keep sending us movies for upcoming festivals. All right. Thank you. We'll be in touch. Congratulations, Jack. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you had fun. Join us next year. Come on back. We'd love to see you again. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to our sponsors, Three Monkeys in Aardvark, Tribeca, Flashpoint College. Thank you.
Scene one, take two.